Hey guys, welcome back to another video by Bros Behind the Keyboard. So for today's video, we are going to be seeing how we can make a text editor using Python. In this text editor, we can open new files or save files or even edit them. So let's see how this works. So here I am in my terminal and I'll just run this program. As you can see, this window pops up and as you can see here, this is a blank page and I have a file option here which has many attributes such as new, save as and all. So let me just type so I can save this by going to file and clicking save as. I'll save it as text1 and I'll replace it. Then when I go to my desktop, I can see that text1 is here and when I open it, it's the text which I wrote in my text editor. Now suppose I open another text called text2 and I just type random nonsense here, and when I save this I can go in my application and open that file. So when I click open, I see these two options and I'll click text2, and when I open it, the nonsense is here. So let us see how we can make this using Python. So for making a text editor in Python, the first thing I will do is I will open an IDE, and in my case I'm using PyCharm, but you can use any you want. I'll click a new project and I'll just name it. Actually, I'll just put it in another folder called code, and I'll be using a normal environment, the existing interpreter, and I don't want a main script, and I'll call it text editor. So now when I say create, it'll open a new project for me, and I can just right click over here and then I'll create Python file and I'll call it main. So let me just increase the font size. So basically for this, the first thing we are using is the Tkinter module, and we'll say from Tkinter import star. The star means all, so it means whatever is in Tkinter. And also because the system doesn't work really well, we'll also type from Tkinter import and we'll say file dialog. Now this is the most important, the file dialog is the most important module which we'll be using here. And we'll create a variable called file name and we'll give it the value none with a capital N. And for using this, we need to create a few functions. The first function will be the new file function. And when we enter this, we'll just declare the file name as global and we'll say global file name. The next thing we will do is we will give it a title. So we'll say file name is equal to, and we'll open braces here and we'll say untitled. Now we will the main thing about this is we are clearing the screen, so we'll create a text widget later, but for now we'll just say tw, it stands for text widget, and we'll say tw.delete, and we'll give it the value 0 comma 0, which means that it'll delete everything and it'll delete till the end. So this function is done. The next function is the save file function. We'll name it again save file. In this again we'll make it the global variable, and we'll say global file name. Again we assign a variable tw, t to the tw widget, and we'll get all the text which is in there, and we'll say tw and end. This is the basic syntax for using the text widget. Now we'll say is equal to open, and in this case here we are opening a file which will be the file name, and we will open it in the write mode. Then we'll say f dot write, and we'll say t, which will paste the text all the text we collected in a file, and then we'll close it. So we'll say f dot close, and this function is also completed. Now the third function is the save as, the most important function. So for this we'll say def save as. Again this won't accept any parameters, and we'll just say f is equal to file dialog dot ask save as file, and here the mode will be the write mode. So we'll say mode is equal to, and we'll open braces and we'll open quotes and we'll put a w in it, and the default extension will be extension default. Yeah, just let me correct that. And the default extension, and it will have the value .txt. So now we'll also open the t, and since the scope of the variables is local in the function, it doesn't matter when we give it the same name. So here we'll also write tw.get, and we'll say 0.0, and again we'll put the end. Now we'll open a try and catch block. So when we say try f dot write, and in the bracket we'll say t dot r strip. Just bear with me here, I will explain it in the end. And the next thing we do is we'll open the exception, and here we'll type file dialog dot, and now it has an attribute called show error, and in this attribute we have two parameters. The first one is the title, and we'll say oops. And the next parameter is the message. And the message will be unable to save file. Now that this is done, this function is also over. And the fourth function is the open file. So we'll say def open file. Again, no parameters, and we'll say f is equal to file dialog dot ask open file log dot ask open file, and here we'll say mode is equal to read. It stands with an R. And then we'll say t is equal to f dot read. The next thing we do is whatever we have in the text widget, we'll just clear the whole thing, and we'll say tw.delete, and we'll again say 0.0 and end, and then here we'll insert tw.insert whatever was in the file. So it'll be 0.0 till t. Now what this does is uh, whatever we have on the main screen, this function will clear the whole screen, and this function will read the text from the file which we need to be opened, and it'll put it from the character 00 till its end. This function is also done. Now here starts the main, let us say, the window creation. So we'll say root is equal to this is the usual thing, and we'll say root dot title, and we'll name it text editor. Then after that we'll root dot geometry, and we'll give in its dimensions. So suppose I say 500 into 500. This function is smart enough to check the x instead in the between the two numbers, and it separates and sets the size. And now I want to import an icon. So what I will do is I will say root dot icon bitmap, and here we'll give the path. So in my case the icon path is c slash code slash, it's a good practice to put double slashes, so we'll just do that, c slash code slash python slash general slash general not general, actually here we'll put notepad, and the icon is here in this file, and it's named notepad.ico. So here I have set the icon. You can put it too. Now it's time for the text widget, the TW, and it's pretty easy. You just say text, say the window where you want to put it, that is the root window, and we'll give it its width and its height. So we'll say width is equal to 500, and we'll give it its height also, and here we'll say height is equal to 500. Now that this is done, we'll say tw.pack. Since everything in Tkinter is a two-step process, we need to put this pack also. Here, now we'll begin to use the menu bar. And we'll say menu bar is equal to, and we'll use the menu and we'll put it in the root window. Then we'll say root.config. Now remember, the root window is, the menu bar is the only thing in Tkinter which needs to be configured. So here we'll enter menu is equal to menu bar. Now we just have to put in the options. Now the thing which is left for us to do is create a file menu, which is like kind of a sub menu, and we'll say file menu is equal to, and we'll give it a menu in the menu bar. We'll say menu bar. Now that that is done, we'll say menu bar dot add cascade. Menu bar dot add cascade, and here what we'll do is we'll give it the label, which is in other words the title, and here we'll say file, and we'll give it the and it will be in the menu, which will be the file menu. And the next thing in this, for the file menu, for all the different options we have, we need to add the titles and the command. So what we'll do is file menu dot add command, and we'll give it the label. Actually, just we'll give it the label. We'll say new, and we'll give the command as command is equal to new file. Oh, not here, I meant after the command. So we say new file. Now remember, we don't have to put the brackets after the new file, otherwise the function will be called. Now let me just copy this and let me print it 4 times. So the next thing will be open, and the command will be open file. Here the title will be save, and the command will be save file. Excuse me. So the next thing is save as, and we'll say save as, and the command here will be save as. So we'll say save as. Now the last thing which we need to do is we need to close the main window, that is the root window. So we'll say root dot main loop, and now that this is done, our program has finished. So we'll just run the main thing, and as you can see, the text editor is here. Now suppose let me type I make videos for programmers. As you can see, there we have this menu bar, and we have the file here, file menu, and when we click new, this whole thing gets cleared. When we suppose we want to say bros behind the keyboard. Now let me just copy this so that I don't have to write it again and again. I can open another video. I can open another text file. So now we have finished with our program, and let me just run this. So as you can see, this little window pops up, and when I make it full screen, I can type anything I want in here. So for example, just let me type something sensible. Let's say bros behind the keyboard. Now what this does is this will print out the text in this whole thing is the text widget. So now let me just copy this to make my life easier. And now as you can see, when I click new file, this whole thing gets cleared. Then I paste it back again. Now I can save this file as bros behind the keyboard or bbktb, and let me just for safety put txt at the end, and I would like to replace it. So now when I go to my desktop, you can see that there is this bbktb file, and when I open it using Notepad, of course, I can see that the text is still here. Now suppose I were to edit this file over here, and just let me print it 5 times. Now when I save this, as you can see, nothing will happen here. But when I close this and I'll run it again, and then when I open the file, let's say here, then I can see it 5 times. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope this was an enjoyable video. And so anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Bros Behind the Keyboard so that we can create awesome content like this.
It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.